September 16, 1920, Wall Street Inferno. A powerful bomb exploded on Wall Street in New York City. At precisely 12:01 p.m., a horse-drawn wagon packed with 100 pounds of dynamite and 500 pounds of heavy cast-iron weights detonated directly outside the offices of J.P. Morgan & Company at the corner of Wall and Broad Streets. The blast killed 38 people and injured more than 400 others. The explosion was so intense that it shattered windows across the financial district, damaged surrounding buildings, and was heard from miles away. The scene was chaotic. Smoke filled the streets, glass and debris covered the pavement, and rescue efforts began immediately. Doctors, police officers, and volunteers worked to transport the injured to hospitals. Within hours, the streets were cleared, and workers began repairing the damage. Despite the devastation, the New York Stock Exchange resumed operations the next day, demonstrating the determination to restore order and prevent further panic. Investigations were launched by the Bureau of Investigation, the New York Police Department, and federal agencies. Authorities collected evidence such as wagon fragments, the horses' remains, and sash weights used as shrapnel. Investigators also found leaflets in a nearby mailbox demanding the release of political prisoners and signed by American anarchist fighters. Although these flyers suggested anarchist involvement, the investigation did not identify specific individuals or groups responsible. Several theories emerged, including connections to Italian anarchists and possible retaliation for the arrest of Sacco and Vanzetti, but no charges were ever filed. The case officially remains unsolved. The Wall Street bombing occurred during a period of social and political turmoil in the United States. The years following World War I saw rising labor strikes, anti-immigration sentiment, and the first Red Scare. Government officials feared the spread of radical leftist ideologies, including communism and anarchism. The attack deepened these anxieties and strengthened calls for expanded law enforcement powers. The Bureau of Investigation, later renamed the Federal Bureau of Investigation, gained greater authority to investigate domestic subversion and political violence. The physical damage from the bombing was extensive. The J.P. Morgan building suffered significant structural damage, and the facades of nearby buildings bore scars from the explosion. Some marks from the shrapnel remain visible today as historical reminders. The attack not only caused loss of life, but also targeted the symbol of American finance, striking at the heart of the nation's economic power. The bombing had lasting impact on public opinion and government policy. It reinforced suspicion toward immigrant communities, particularly Italian immigrants associated with anarchist movements. The event contributed to harsh crackdowns on political dissidents, with authorities increasingly using surveillance, deportations, and arrests to suppress suspected radicals. The fear generated by the attack amplified broader concerns about security and social stability in the early 20th century. Despite extensive efforts, the Wall Street bombing remains an unsolved act of terrorism in American history. It demonstrates the vulnerability of urban centers to political violence and highlights the challenges law enforcement faced in an era before modern forensic science. The event is remembered as one of the deadliest acts of terrorism in the United States prior to the Oklahoma City bombing of 1995 and the September 11th attacks. Its historical significance lies in both the immediate loss of life and the broader influence it exerted on American policy, immigration policy, and federal law enforcement development. The Wall Street bombing of 1920 endures as a sobering reminder of how acts of political violence can shape national policy and collective memory. It marked a turning point in the United States' approach to domestic security and solidified the image of Wall Street as a target for those who opposed capitalism and American financial institutions. The event stands as a stark chapter in the nation's history, illustrating the intersection of social conflict, radical ideology, and the pursuit of security in a time of turbulence. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.